Brother lads, welcome back to Cossy's Arsenal podcast. My name is Cossy. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in all parts of the world. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to a brand new video. Mikel Arteta wants the Premier League title. He won't break that easily, but he was talking to the press and he said, "My players are working towards that. We're trying to work towards that every single day." And it looks like the Premier League title is now the new agenda in the Arsenal dressing room. I want to have your thoughts. I want to have your opinions. What do you think about the team now playing towards winning the Premier League title rather than playing towards finishing in the top four? Is it time for us to play like we want the title? Is it time for us to play like the title is ours to lose? Or you want no pressure? We should play the way we've been playing. No pressure. Take it game by game. Hit the like button. Get involved in the comment box below because I want your thoughts there. Should Arsenal now play like champions? 13 games to go. We are very close. We are absolutely very, very close. And for me, guys, I'm going to say this. If Arsenal do not take themselves as champions, as potential champions right about now, is a huge mistake. We've got to create the mentality now. We've got to create the resistance, the resilience, the character now of champions so that when we get into those difficult games, we crush them like champions. But I need your thoughts there. Let's get this video to 300 likes. Hype up the channel. Hype up Arsenal. And come on, you Ghana. So let's see what Mikel Arteta was speaking about in his latest press conference after the Everton game, not Aston Villa game. First and foremost, he was asked whether he was delighted with the performance of the boys on the evening. And he said, "I'm really, really happy. It was a game that we had in our hands against an opponent that we knew was going to be very, very difficult, make life very difficult for us. And we expected that at Goodson. We started the game with some frustration and not really understanding what we had to do, allowing them to run in certain positions. But after 25 minutes, I think we started to get much better, and the timing of the two goals was absolutely key." And I've said it in my match reaction that this could be Arsenal's best performance at the Emirates this year. Because when you look at all the games we played this year, January was not a bad month. February was kind of mixed reactions. I think we played well against Manchester United in January. But to be honest, this was good. This was purely good. And I understand Mikel when he says that we didn't start off very well because you look at the first 25 minutes of the game, Everton was successful with their plan. They were literally trying to do what they're supposed to do, make it difficult, frustrate us, just create that kind of difficult zone and difficult environment for us though. But we started growing into the game, understanding what we have to do and raising the level. I think in these games, what you've got to do is raise the level of the performance, raise the level at which you're playing, raise the level at which you are, attacking the play, attacking the opponent, raise the level at which you're defending, and just press a little bit harder and work harder as well. Still, Mikel says that we needed a magic moment there, and Alex and Bukayo produced that. And then I think the team grew into it, especially with Thomas, because Jorginho wasn't feeling good today. When he came on, he really gave us some presence and stability to the team. And I think the second half was purely superb. Actually, this is the first time I've seen Mikel Arteta say that his team was superb. Like, in a game of football, and he says we were superb. He literally doesn't say that. He says we did the basics right. We had some right decisions that we got right, and he says we had some moments that we capitalized on. That is what he says in games. But this in this one, he says the second half we were superb. And I tell you what, I've been listening to Sean Dyche's press conference, and he also said that they are a top team. In the second half, they showed why they are a top team. He says the preparation for his team in the second half was go there and try to, go at Arsenal, try to create something. So I thought he thought that Arsenal are going to sit back, try to defend the 2-0 victory, or 2-0 lead that we have. And probably if Everton got a goal back early, maybe before the 70th minute, they could have grabbed an late equalizer. But Sean Dyche said Arsenal started off the second half very well, more than we expected. And that is what you expect from a top side. So for me, guys, that was a good game. That was a really good game. And Mikel Arteta has also acknowledged that. He says this game was purely superb, right? Mikel Arteta on the resilience and the mental strength shown by his squad recently. He says when you look at every single day, you feel how much they want it, how much they really want to produce what we ask them to do, and how much they want to please our people. I have no doubt that we are going to turn things around in performances and results in the small details that make you win or not win. But I am really pleased with the way the team is right now, right? So it says on the resilience and mental strength, it says every single day the players try to show that they want it. They try to show that they want to win, they want to do the right things, and they want the Premier League title. Now, for me, look, this Arsenal side, I think starting with Tottenham Hotspur away and Manchester United at home, because those are the two games, and I'm really happy that we didn't lose those two games, because that would have been really detrimental. Losing a game against Everton, that is a bad day in office. Drawing against Brentford, that is a lucky point that any team should get if they're going to win the Premier League. But losing against Man United and Tottenham, that would have literally shown us that we are not yet there. We are not yet at that level. And that would have created a lot of disbelief in our season. And that's why I think in April, Manchester City and Chelsea in 1 week is going to be absolutely key. Those two games are going to be very key as to whether we win the title or we lose it. So for me, beating Manchester United and Everton, and Tottenham Hotspur in 1 week, it just showed Arsenal that this is the real team. This is the arrival of Arsenal Football Club. We have arrived, and all we've got to do now is maintain the consistency that we've actually maintained for a whole season. Okay, so Mikel says there the players are ready and they're feeling and they're right in position to do what is asked of them. On Gabriel Martinelli and Saka hitting double digits for the season this season, it says it's a credit to them because in the end, they have to do it themselves. But we try to help them with our way of playing by trying to get them in those positions as much as possible. They are willing to learn. They are asking for more and more every single day. And they never have enough information. They want more. They want space. They want practice. And at the end of the day, you have that and you have the talent that they have and the ideas they have as well. At the end, good things will eventually happen. Look, I'm very disturbed that Emile Smith-Rowe has not played this season because Emile is one kind of guy that, he scored double figures last campaign. He would have definitely hit double figures this campaign. There's no question about that. There's no question about that. Most of the goals Emile Smith-Rowe played last campaign, he was coming off the bench. He was coming off. He was coming in as a substitute, and I think he scored around 4 or 5 goals as a substitute. So for me, the fact that he's not played football this season, it is purely hurting. But I don't have a problem with Emile Smith-Rowe. I don't have a problem with Gabriel Martinelli or Saka. I think all of them are quite very interesting players, and Arsenal are so lucky. We are very lucky to have such talent at the moment. You look at all the squads in Europe, even when I talk about Napoli and I talk about FC Barcelona, Barca do have Gavi and Pedri and maybe Ansu Fati, but you look at all the other departments and the other players, I don't think there is a team that has quality, young quality as Arsenal. Dortmund do have that reputation. I don't think they do much quality. They have Jude Bellingham, they have Mukoko, they have Giovanni Reina. I think they will have Daichi Kamada very soon. But Arsenal right now, we have the best young talent around the world. Napoli could be in there as well. But right now, Arsenal have the best young talent. You look at our centre-backs. You look at our forwards. You look at our midfield. You look at our goalkeeper. It's sensational. It's really sensational. But then also, I think our players were always going to hit double figures in a season where we are trying to win the title. Like, we are flying, we're scoring goals, and we are mean with our defense. Like, did anyone really expect that Arsenal were going to? Did anyone really expect that we were going to win the league and none of our players has like 10 goals and above? Like, it can't happen. Every single team that wins the Premier League title, there is that guy that has like 20. I think Arsenal, it might not happen. I think Saka might score because Saka right now has 10. Gabriel Martinelli 11, right? So Saka might hit like 15. Gabriel Martinelli might hit like 17. right? Like 17. And that's going to be really, really high. I think Gabriel Jesus not being into the team has actually cost him. Gabriel Jesus would be the other guy that would have scored something like 15 goals this season. A total of 45 all around the front three. But I'm really happy for Gabi Martinelli because he's back and he's back at the right point in time. On Alexander Zinchenko's importance on and off the pitch, Mikel says that's why we brought him here, because he brings something different to the team. His mentality, his quality to do certain things allows us to be unpredictable and to generate a lot of threat in time. In every time we are in ball possession. He's played those kind of games against low blocks 200 times, and that's very, very helpful for us. Look, Zinchenko could have been man of the match in that game. I just watched the highlights. I just watched the highlights. Alexander Zinchenko was directly involved in every goal Arsenal scored. He was directly involved in every goal we scored. Listen, the first goal, that's an assist for Saka. That is already an assist. The second goal plays the ball into Martin Odegaard. Odegaard is trying to dribble forward, stumbles and falls, and then the ball runs into Idrissa Gana Gueye. Gana Gueye then makes a mistake. Saka pounces. Martinelli finishes. The move is started by Alexander Zinchenko. For the third goal, it is Alexander Zinchenko that plays that ball into Alexander Zinchenko that plays that ball into Xhaka. Xhaka plays it into Trossard, and then Trossard lays it off for Martinelli, for Odegaard. The fourth goal as well, it is Alexander Zinchenko, I think, who plays that ball into Edin Nketiah, and then Nketiah cuts it back for Gabriel Martinelli. He was directly involved in everything Arsenal did going forward. And you know what's important? And this is something you've got to think about. Alexander Zinchenko yesterday did not impact the left-hand side a lot as he impacted the right-hand side. That is scary. If you're an opponent, that is scary. Because you've got to expect him as a left-footed player, as a left wing back. You expect him to be connecting with Martinelli, Trossard, and Xhaka. But you look at that game, you watch him in that game, his connection was more towards Odegaard, Saka, and Ben White. So literally it means that he can play on the left-hand side very well, which is his natural side, but then he can also play inverted. He can be that kind of inverted fullback who just focuses on the other side. That is the unpredictability that he brings with Arsenal, and I love that. I really, really do. On Martinelli's understanding with Leandro Trossard, it says, I think relationships are built in teams, and that chemistry comes naturally. And when you see him play with Fabio more together, he has even more chemistry because they love each other so much, and they have that way of looking at each other and understanding what's going to have. So he's also building that with Leandro. He's feeling a bit more freedom to move into certain areas. He's now and now his confidence is high again. He's scoring goals, he's assisting goals, and he's in a very, very good mode. Look, I've already said this, that Martinelli works better with a striker who is mobile. He loves a mobile striker. It's the same thing with Gabriel Jesus. It's the same thing with Leandro Trossard. Trossard is not a box guy. At times I don't even see him in the penalty area unless he's dribbled that ball or he's made that run. Because you look at is it Xhaka or I think it's Xhaka who plays that ball in front of Trossard, and he takes a touch, takes another, and that is where because the third touch just allows him to attract all the Everton players almost on the goal line, right? And when he cuts it back, it's too late for them to turn around. Odegaard is arriving, is having a simple tap in. So with Leandro Trossard, there's gonna be a lot of goals from other areas. Look at the Saka goal. Look at that Saka goal. Look at the Gabriel Martinelli goal. Look at the spaces those players are occupying. The only player that I've not really seen benefiting from Leandro Trossard so much, like I expected or anticipated, is Granit Xhaka. Xhaka's got to, I don't want to say this, but Xhaka's got to be scoring goals again. And I know he will score goals again with Leandro Trossard in that team. But right now, Gabriel Martinelli is benefiting from the changes that have been made in the team. On Zinchenko and Saka's link up for the first goal, it says you have to produce those magic moments. And as you said, take that initiative and have the mentality, I'm going to do it on the pitch. I'm going to wait for somebody. I'm not going to wait for somebody else to do it. When you have a few players with the willingness and capacity to do that, you have a better chance to win more games every single day. Right? That's impressive, really. On Martinelli and Vieira's chemistry potentially being utilized in the coming weeks, it says yes for sure. Okay, so we might see Fabio Vieira and Gabriel Martinelli playing together, right? This might be a little bit harsh from me, but I would be okay with a rotation, with Xhaka being rotated a little bit. Like, rotate him for 2 games. It's okay. I thought Fabio Vieira could have played in this game against Everton. I thought Fabio Vieira could have played in the Leicester City game. And I also thought Fabio Vieira could play in the Bournemouth game. Actually, in my predicted lineup that drops tomorrow, make sure you do watch that. I will drop Fabio Vieira into that second number 10 role, or into that, second creative role, and we see how we can actually manage there, right? We will see. Right, so Mikel, on now, if we are title favorites, it says, my answer there. We like what I like is that everybody has the enthusiasm to do it, and we are not going to stop that. We have to promote that, but the way to promote is by looking at this game and understanding that we have to do a lot of things better, especially in the first half. We can play better, make sure that we prepare really, really well against Bournemouth, because that's going to be a very tough game as well. It's never going to be a tough game. Look, we might drop points, we might draw, we might lose, but it's never going to be a tough game against Bournemouth. It's never a tough game against Bournemouth. It's just that we have to be cautious. If he says we've got to be cautious against Bournemouth, great point. I understand. But when he says it's going to be a tough game, no, please, no. It's not a tough game. It's a game that Manchester City went there and picked up easy points. Those are 3 points just for you to decorate the table, right? Those are Bournemouth, Southampton, Leicester, Aston Villa, Everton. Those are points for you to decorate the table. Like, we have 5 out of the last 5. But who have you played? Well, we played Everton, Leicester, Aston Villa, Bournemouth, and Crystal Palace and Leeds. You've got to win those games. You've got to win those games. And I say this, we've got to win those games, all of them. Okay, but look, I think Mikel is right there. Every player right now is focusing on the title, which is something I love. No one no one envisioning us being in that position at the start of the season. It says, I think we are here because we work how we work, and we are really and we have really good players, and we are incredible. And we have an incredible connection with our people, so everything adds to the table, and we have to continue to do that as well. On if he's encouraging the players to go for the title, it says, with my players, I'm going to control what they do in the next hour, so they are better. Interesting. On the key to reducing any tension, it says it is about expectation. The less games, you need the points to win the league, and just stay focused when you can control what you have to do, and let the rest happen naturally, because it's something that nobody else can control. Okay. On Edin Ketia limping off post-match, it said hopefully he's fine. He ended the game well, but he's been carrying a little thing. So Edin Ketia has been injured for some time. And finally, on the players being relentless, it says it is something that we have to train and discuss and build. It is not easy, but a lot of time it happens through experience, and most of the time they are experiences that you don't want to go through. But the calendar and the fixtures are going to give that. Sometimes where we are now, sometimes it is 3 points, 2 points, -2. It is going to happen, and we have to live with that as well. That's Mikel Arteta and his press conference. He wants the title. The players are geared up for the title, and the fan base are hopeful. We are anticipating. I know Manchester City are down there saying, when we play them, we've got to win. When they lose against Liverpool, they'll drop points. But this is what's going to happen. By the time we play Liverpool, Arsenal will still be on the top of the table. By the time we play Liverpool, City could drop points. By the time we play Liverpool, Arsenal could be 7-8 points clear. And for me, what I want is to play Man City while we are 7 points clear or 8 points clear. That is what I want. When you play City and you're 8 points clear, you could draw that game, and that means it's a game that never happened, and then pounce on Chelsea. If we can do that, if we really, really can do that, the title is ours for the taking. But I don't want to get ahead of myself. I'm going to be doing a live stream about the title race now, where it stands with 13 games to go. And make sure you catch me live. I'll be live at exactly 3 p.m. Make sure you're tuned in. I'll speak to you right in the next one. Cheers.